Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss my most favorite part of programming, that is the patterns. So the pattern which we are going to discuss today is this one. What do we need for printing a pattern? We need to know the number of rows, we need to know the number of columns. The horizontal lines in the pattern is the rows and the vertical lines in the pattern are the columns. So in the given pattern, the number of rows is 4 and the number of columns is 5. What else do we need? We need to know about the nested loops. Nested loop is a loop within loop. So there may be as many loops as we want, but all the inner loops will be dependent on the outer loops. And outer loop is generally dependent on the rows and inner loop will contain the number of columns. So we are done with the theory of patterns. So now we'll proceed towards the programming part. So let's get started. First we'll write the import statement. Then the class. Class name should be a reasonable one. Then we need to write the main function. It's the entry point for our program. Then we need to declare the variable. Here we will be declaring two variables because we are using two loops over here. So two loop variables we need to declare. The I loop, which is the outer loop, is for the number of rows. And we have 4 rows in the pattern. So our loop variable I will go from 1 to 4. And the inner loop, that is J, which is for the number of columns, and for in our pattern we have 5 columns, so our J loop will go from 1 to 5. We are done with the loop, so now we need to print. J loop will print all the 5 stars in a row. So then after that we need to go to the next line. For that we need to use this statement, that is println statement. We are done with the program, so now we need to save it. Yeah, we have saved. So now let's execute our program. I've changed to the respective folder where I've saved my program. So next I need to compile it. Compilation is successful. So next I need to run. Yeah, so I've got exactly the same pattern which I want, but this program is a static one because it will always print 4 rows and 5 columns pattern. But if you want a dynamic program, a dynamic pattern program, so what do we need to do? We need to take 2 move variables. One is R for the number of rows and C for the number of columns, which the user will enter. So we need to take a scanner class now because we need to take the input from the console, that is from the end user. We need to write an instruction for the end user now. Enter the number of rows and columns. Yeah, so R will store the number of rows entered by the user and C will store the number of columns entered by the user. Yeah, so I loop, which is for the number of rows, will now run from 1 to R. and J loop is, which is for the number of columns, will now run from 1 to C. Yeah, so we're done with our program. So now let's save it with another name, that is pattern 1. Yeah, we're done with saving. Now we'll execute it. So there's some problem with the compilation, that is the scanner class. Yeah, so I have used here system.out, it will be system.in. So yes, we are done with the compilation. Yeah, so enter the number of rows and columns. So if we want to enter 2 rows and 2 columns, we will be getting the pattern in this way, which has exactly 2 rows and 2 columns. Now next, if you want a pattern with 6 rows and 7 columns, we will be getting a pattern like this, which again has exactly the same number of rows and the same number of columns which we have entered. So this is a dynamic program. So we have gone through both the dynamic as well as the static version of the pattern. So if you understood what I have explained right now, so do not forget to like my video and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. And don't forget to share it as much as you can. Thank you. Bye.